playing these 4 of the next 5 weeks on the road, that a lot of teams would see that as a challenge. Do you see your team seeing it as a challenge and something that they're going to be maybe excited to face up to?
Yeah, I mean, the whole schedule has been a challenge, and the teams that we played have been on our schedule. The Big Ten's, as you know, is still up for grabs. And I don't think it matters where you play or who you play in our conference right now. You kind of know what kind of game you're going to have to play to be successful. It's going to be a battle like every one of our games have been, where the third period, the game's going to be tied, and you're going to have to figure out how to win those games. So I don't think we look too far ahead and see, road games, and only one home game, and road game. I think that we're to the point now, we know we're going into a building that just no matter what season it is, no matter what the standings are, you're getting a chance to play against the Gophers. And that is what, when the schedule comes out, our fans, our players, our coaches, we go, when are we playing Minnesota? Because that's the marquee matchup of the year. So that's what we're looking forward to having the opportunity to go there and probably play in 2 games like when we were here a couple months ago when we played many that were phenomenal hockey games, and the rivalry is the rivalry because it's special, and this weekend will be no different.
Alec? Hey, Coach, back here. Keandre Miller, is he the real deal? And if so, for his being a freshman, what makes him so impressive?
The skill part of the size, the mobility, and the skill set you can see. What you don't see as a fan is the work ethic and the competitiveness and the kid himself on why he is so special for an 18-year-old and a freshman. And as a coach, when you recruit, you're looking for character to go along with the skill. And when you think you find one of those guys, you get really, really excited. Well, he's lived up to it and gone beyond on what he's meant to us in the locker room and in our group as far as what he brings to the table. So he's special. I think his growth and development has been progressive as the years gone along. I think the time away at the World Junior thing was special for him. I think it helped him from a confidence standpoint of being able to play for Team USA, and as an underage player in that tournament was really good and really well deserved. So he's on his way to being the player that the Rangers expected when they drafted him, and when we expected him and when we recruited him to be an elite player that could dominate right out of the gate, and he's been able to do that.
Coach, I know Sunday's game was a really tough loss, tie for you guys. I mean, what do you take away from how hard you guys battled, I think, to move forward to the Minnesota?
Yeah, I think the whole weekend, I thought we played really well on Friday against a highly ranked team. Again, it went down to the third period, and we lost a tough one there. And then Sunday's game, the OT game was a game that, most of the game we felt like we were in control, and we're the better team at lots of, the parts of that game. So if you look at the last 10 weeks, we played 8 of those teams were ranked in the top 16. And when we went into those buildings, whether it be Michigan, whether it be Penn State here, whether it be Denver here, whether it be Notre Dame. So those were all teams that were in the tournament at the time we played them. And in that stretch, we played really good hockey. Some of the results we would have wished would have turned a little bit differently, but every one of those games have been competitive where we were in a position to win, where the game was tied in the third period or we were leading, every one of them. So we should feel really good about our team. I know that it was a tough loss, over the weekend, but our team has progressed enough to compete with the teams that are ranked week after week and put ourselves in a position to win. Now, from a growing standpoint and a progress standpoint, you want to see those games that are tight. You want to learn how to win those games, and then you become an elite team. And right now, that's the process we're going through. I like the way we've come as a team and grown as a team. And now down the stretch, for us to get home ice advantage and to get a tournament bid, those are games we're going to have to figure out how to win. And we realize every Big Ten game, the third period of the game is going to be tied. Find a way to win it now, and that's where our mindset has to be. And we should be gaining confidence on how we've grown as a team.
Mark, on the topic of progress, Tarek Baker, maybe the goal scoring might not be what it was last year right now, but where is progress this year in Tarek in year 2 for him?
I think leadership is one of the things. I think his consistency, his understanding of what we want our team to look like. that's the way he plays. He plays with his heart on his sleeve. He plays with the passion and energy and compete level that we need to play at to be an elite team. He's one of the veterans as a sophomore on our team. I mean, let's face it, we got 8 freshmen in the lineup and 7 sophomores. You're looking for guys that are leaders that understand what being a Badger is and what being a successful college player is. So his leadership and his work ethic and his desire to win is what I think has made him a big part of our team and program and makes him special.
Todd.
A couple of months ago, you moved Will Johnson down off the first line, and he said he took it as a wake-up call. Have you seen out of that from him what you wanted to see and the right response?
I think Friday night, I thought it was maybe his best game of the year. I think his battle around the net and net front has been really strong, or one of the better ones on our team. Those are the goals that we're going to have to score that make the difference between winning and losing. I thought the Friday night game, he was there, on 2 goals where his presence was a huge factor. And I think his game and his idea now of understanding what it's going to take for him to help us, he's got a better grasp of what that is. And I thought Friday's game was outstanding, and I think the past 6 or 7 weekends he's been really, really good. So he's finishing his senior year the way you would hope. He's leaving it on the ice and done a really nice job for us.
Right.
Tony, in a couple of weeks, Mark's number is going to be raised here, and a bunch of alums are going to be back. What's the feedback been like since that was first announced? And it's coming here, so it's going to be pretty fun. We've talked about this over and over about really Mark hasn't played here for a long, long time. But for those of us that were lucky enough to watch him play and see what he did as a collegiate athlete, this day is long overdue. This day is one that everybody that knows Mark knows what he meant to our program, knows what he meant to the game of hockey, knows what his contributions were to, USA hockey, knows what his loyalty has been to the University of Wisconsin, the city of Madison, our program, both men's and women's, are fired up about being a part of and can't wait to see it. So I think that's, excitement for one of the most humble superstars or sports heroes, And I look at what Mark did in the 1980 Olympic Games, and he walked away and humbly just went on his own. He could have celebrated that, and everybody should have looked at him as the reason that we won the gold medal. He was, for me, the best player. The MVP, the guy that got all the big goals, and to him that wasn't what was important. What was important was that he did everything for his team to help them win, and then he went off on his way and decided to play pro hockey and be the same type of teammate and player that he was on that Olympic team, and that's why he was so great. And I'm sure, through his collegiate career here at the University of Wisconsin, it's his teammates that had the fortune of playing with him think the same way of him as a teammate that we think of him as a fan. I get to play with him on one U.S. National team, and he lived up to what his reputation was of being the funnest guy to be around and greatest teammate and most humble human being. You'd never know that, he had a gold medal and accomplished so many great things in his hockey career because he's just a special person.
Todd.
Daniel is okay to go.
Daniel was good in practice. I skated up to him during it and said, "How you doing?" He said, "Coach, I'm fine." So that's good news. Whether or not we'll start him on Friday, I don't know. We'll wait and see how the next practice goes tomorrow. But his Nate made a special pad for him, protect it, and he liked it and felt comfortable with it.